All right, bonus episode number 2 for today, which, that's new. So as part of this episode, bonus episode, as part of this, what I want to do is kind of talk a little bit about the perks and devices I chose while leveling up versus the ones that I'm going to use now that we're in Endgame. And part of this is also now allowing myself to look at guides, right? Previously, a lot of it was, hey, I want to explore what the game has to offer and kind of figure some things out on my own. And now I'm kind of looking around and understanding more like, how do you think about this? How do you think about this? And getting different opinions. Also, I played through the majority of the game on normal, with the missions, the main missions, being near my level or above my level. So I was really looking for, let's move smoothly through the story. And as I went through the story, I had one death, and it was to collision damage. I used a device speed boost and slammed into a capital ship and blew myself up, right? I have now, post-story, died 7 additional times, just as I'm getting used to nightmare mode. So, I think it's 7, but, in less than 7 hours, I've died 7 times, right? It's really ramped up quite a bit now that we're in nightmare. Anyway, so, when I was leveling up, I was using Defensive Massacre. That was one of the first things I picked, and I didn't look back at it. And part of the reason I was using that is that I was using longer range weapons. I was using initially railguns, then I switched over a bomber. I was using long range missiles and mines to kill things. And when I needed to regenerate, I would jump out of battle and get as far out as I could, and then kill something, and my shield would come back and I could get right back into the action after that. Now that we are higher level and trying to figure out what's going on, the gunship is not as mobile as it maybe should be. It's as mobile as it should be, but it's not as mobile as I might want it to be. And sometimes I feel the need to kind of jog away a little bit, where I'm boosting backwards or I'm turning and running with my boost in order to reduce my damage from dodging. Well, having the ability to reduce the damage taken while boosting when I could be boosting a lot of the time is pretty good. So I think we're going to move to exit strategy on that front, and that is what the guides generally recommend. Level 10 perks. There's a couple of good choices here, and really it'll come down to style. But percussive maintenance is what I opted to use most of the way leveling up. And that is what I'm going to continue to use because I'm receiving a lot more armor and hull hits as the difficulty ramps up. And having devices just pop up off cooldown again is really great. It's really nice to be able to protect myself with those devices. Relentless. Relentless seems like an obvious choice. That is what I used leveling up, and that is what I plan to continue to use. As you get more devices, it even gets better. So you can go from there. Crit Happens is really nice with some other builds with certain ships. And, you could definitely use that as well. And then Excessive Force, if you're running away and not taking any damage, using the railgun strategy that I talked about a little bit earlier, you could use Excessive Force as well, and I did play around with it a little bit, but Relentless is where we're going to be for me going forward. Level 20 perks. I have used Ulterior Motive and Critical Faculty leveling up. Now that we're much more often dipping into armor, dipping into hull even, having the ability to get armor back, not just from devices, but also getting armor back from using your ultimate. Yeah, I will go ahead and take it. 100 percent increased ult generation while the shield is depleted would also be effective here if your goal is more damage. So I'm going to start with Unyielding Assault. That is actually what the guide recommends for this build. We'll see if we move to Ulterior Motive, but for now, this is where to go. Retaliation, with all the damage flying around, that is the right thing to do. In a heavy, you're going to take hits. You're going to take hits. A lot of people will say, don't get hit. Those people probably are flying lights, and they are open to a more punishing experience than I am. So I'm going to go ahead and use Retaliation. Exploitation is great for a lot of builds too. So if you know that you're going to be slowing people down, that will work great. I don't have those options on my legendaries or my set bonuses yet, and I don't really want to be, setting up Weber drones or web mines or anything like that to get exploitation to trigger. Yeah, preparation. I don't feel like preparation is a choice for anything that I fly. So anyway, level 30 perks. So I have been using Overkill, but Symphony of Destruction is amazing. And as the difficulty of the enemies, as the health and armor of the enemies scales up, Symphony of Destruction and Ride the Lightning, but Symphony of Destruction in particular looks way more attractive, especially if you're blowing up, a medium or a heavy enemy and they're next to a whole bunch of drones or some lights. They will explode and share the love with all of their friends. So there we go on perks. Now let's talk about devices just a little bit. I have been really big on using devices to get my shields back, to get my armor back, and to get away. That's been my kind of 3 things. So when I have 3 devices, I'd be using Shield Surge EMP, I'd be using Foundation Nano. So Shield Surge EMP gives you shields back when you hit people. Nano Foundation gives you back armor. And this having a minimum of 20% armor regenerated means they break through my shields and they hit my armor down 5%, and I go from 50% armor to 45% armor. And then my shields go back up. I can hit this and still get 20% at a minimum, which is great. Yeah, anyway. So I like it. I've liked this, but we will be switching that out. Front shield generators new to me. I just added that in as I was dealing with retaliators. Those freezing missiles are really awful. The freezing cannons are really awful. Same thing here with Minesweeper missile defense system. Wanted to just eliminate losing control of my ship for the last couple high-risk areas we did. So, but we're going to go ahead and dive into devices, the device recommendations that are made in this guide, and we're going to try them out next episode, which is why I wanted to make this little bonus here. What they recommend is shield, and they recommend all day. So this allows you to shoot indefinitely. What I have been doing overall in the game, I get to shoot almost indefinitely because of the number of orbs that spawn. This, of course, is referring to energy orbs spawned by Delia's perks. But when you're killing slower, because the enemies are much, much more sturdy, having another way to keep that infinite energy going is helpful. The last episode or 2, I've been using On Your Left, which is great because I can kind of duck and run off to the side and still have my shield pointed the right direction, but we'll try all day and we'll see how it works for us. So that is their first recommendation, the front shield generator all day. Nano transmitter. So let's see what we got here. So missile defense system, that's the next one. Sustenance. So they recommend every destroyed missile increases remaining duration. This is actually great if you have a lot of missiles coming towards you. I can see why that's the recommendation. I was using Minesweeper for a variety of reasons, but it's good. We'll try this out. Next up, teleport parting gift or scurry. Okay, I haven't used either of those, so we'll see. And then nano transmitter carefree. So in order to get these, I think we need to reset. So change this out. Nano transmitter. Upgrade. 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 Okay, repairs a ship's hull for 40%. Also repair armor and shields for half the amount. I mean, that's pretty great. I can see why they want to use that. Okay. And then the next one was teleport. Parting gift. I do not have teleport yet. I should find that. So, I'm going to go ahead and drop Annihilator Virus. This damage was great for clearing out drones and low-level enemies, but we can definitely reset this guy now because I don't think we'll continue to use it. Yeah, interesting. So without teleport, I think we leave Temporal Nano Recompensator for now. Up to 200% missing. Diligence. Restores 100% but over 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't need it to be instant. Cool. Oh, good. So we're going to switch off Foundation. I'm taking more armor damage now, and usually when I'm using this, I really need the armor back, so we'll call this good. All right. I don't have... Oops. I don't have teleport, so I should find that one. That's interesting. We'll need to do that. So the last recommended device here is teleport parting gift. And I don't know what that is, so we'll have to go find that. But for now, that's the bonus video number 2 for today. Hey, if you like this, let me know. It's not much of a guide, but it's something. Cheers.